Hello and welcome everyone. We are in Cologne at Gamescom 2019 and today Nintendo presents a more in-depth look at Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Joining us today we have two very special guests. We have the creator of the Dragon Quest series, Mr. Hori. Hello Mr. Hori, thank you so much for joining us today.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And we have the producer of this particular chapter in the Dragon Quest series, Mr. Okamoto. Hello,
Hi.
Mr. Okamoto. Thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Alongside our special guests, we have from Nintendo of Europe, Filippo. Hey, Filippo.
Hi, Nims. Hi, everyone.
Now, Filippo, you're going to be taking us through some gameplay and showcasing some new areas in this particular title.
Yes, we want to travel a bit through many of the locations of Dragon Quest XI's.
Excellent. And we have Mina. Hi, Mina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, everyone.
Mina is also from Nintendo of Europe and is going to be our interpreter for today. Awesome. So I think we should just get straight into this game. Now, Mr. Hori, could you give us, and for the viewers watching at home, a brief introduction into the story for this particular installment in the Dragon Quest series?
ではまず堀井さん、本タイトルのストーリーについて簡単にご紹介いただけますか？
そうですね。本作は勇者の物語です。山奥の村で育った主人公は自分が勇者であることを知らされて、で王様に会いに行くんですけども、王様からはお前は悪魔の子だって言われ追われることになります。でどうしてそういうことになったかの謎を解くために仲間と一緒に世界を旅することになるんですね。
So this is the story of the luminary. He's told that he's the luminary and he goes to meet the king, where he's told that he's actually a darkspawn. So he sets off on an adventure with his party members to find out who he actually is.
Right.
Yes, so in this point of the game, we are just outside of Gallopolis, which is one of the, not the first, but one of the first locations you visit. And we are midway through the game. I'm already in a fight, and I wanted to show you a couple of things about the combat system first. So, of course, Dragon Quest XI's is a classic, traditional turn-based RPG. So you select the orders that you want to give your characters from a menu, and then your characters execute them one after the other, and then it's the enemy turn. At the moment, right now, I'm controlling Eric. Each character has their own specialties, their own vocation. Eric is a kind of thief kind of character. He uses knives and swords as well. He can steal items from the enemies. But in this case, I'm using the dagger that he has to, for example, put the enemy to sleep.
Wow.
Although I don't think he's going to sleep for very long, because Veronica here in my party is an offensive spellcaster, and I'm going to burn this little rubber rabbit.
Oh, no.
Yes. So yeah, there are a lot of ways to customize your characters and to employ different strategies in battle. But I'm just gonna go into a second fight for now.
Oh, you caught his attention.
Yes.
So, as you were explaining there, Filippo, a bit about the battle style in this particular title, Mr. Hori, could you tell us why did you stick to the traditional turn-based battle style system for this game?
堀井さん、ドラゴンクエストのゲームで単性のバトルを採用し続けている理由はなぜでしょうか？
そうですね。僕自身ね、ゲームをやった人の全員にクリアしてほしいと思ってるんですよ。で単性バトルであれば、時間に聞かされることなくじっくりとコマンドやることができるんで、アクションが苦手な人もレベル下げればラスボスを倒せると思うんですね。そういう思いで単性バトルを選択しました。
Well, I have this wish for every player to complete the game if they play thoroughly, and that includes people that are not very good at action-based battles, and this is why I have stuck to the turn-based battles. So if they level up and battle building their strategy, then they should be able to defeat these monsters, even the last boss as well.
I have to say that's me. I'm not a very good Dragon Quest player, so arigato, thank you so much.
So let me just finish this fight, and then we can travel through. My character has fallen, so he can attack this turn, but then we can go visit Gallopolis a little bit later. I'm actually just going to try to use Bang, which attacks all of the enemy party for big explosion there.
Very
Serena
nice.
is always helping me out. So Veronica, sorry, is always helping me out in battle. So now we can actually go inside Gallopolis. And as you travel through the world of Dragon Quest XI's, you will see all of these locations that are actually inspired by real-world location. You can immediately see also from the outside, and from the fact that we are also in this desertic area, Gallopolis has a lot of Middle Eastern influence and inspiration. And now that we get inside, I hope I can show you that. But I think it's very clearly visible from the very start.
Ah, wow.
You can see, you can immediately see the influences, the architecture inspired by Middle Eastern locations, the domes, the arches, the decorations, the palm trees, of course. There is this souk-style market over there.
Yes, very souk.
And like even like this pattern, this decoration,
Like
the geometric
arch,
patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
Really nice. This circus actually plays a role in the storyline, and also has this beautiful Middle Eastern inspired decoration.
God.
Also the feathers.
That is very cool.
Exactly. And also if you look at that, the Egyptian inspired statues, the obelisk, it's really a lot of different influences from Middle East in one city.
There seems to be a lot of inspiration in this particular area. So, Mr. Hori, how did you find inspiration to create these sorts of environments? Have you traveled through these locations or locations like this yourself personally? And how would you say this has influenced you in when making games like this, or making a city like Gallopolis?
堀井さん、ゲーム内の世界観ですが、インスピレーションはどこから得ているのでしょうか。実際にご自身で旅されたりとかしたんですか。
そうですね、僕自身ね、いろんなところに旅をしてですね、その都度インスピレーションを受けてます。例えばですね、僕と住んでる時はエジプトにピラミッドを見に来ました。で、11の開発前には開発者とともにですね、マチュピチュに行きましたね。で、物語冒頭の石の村の周辺の景色ってのはその時のインスピレーションから生まれていますね。
Yes, I myself have traveled to many countries and I get inspirations from all over the place. And when we were developing Dragon Quest III, we actually went to Egypt to see real pyramids. And for the development of this game, Dragon Quest XI, the development team altogether went to Machu Picchu. And the scenery that you see in cobblestone at the start of this game is inspired from that time.
You're very well, I could say you've traveled a lot more than I have.
Actually, yes, it is a really beautiful world, and we want to show more of it. So now we're moving out of Gallopolis to travel a little bit more. And here, normally in the previous versions of the game, you could travel by horse, but you would always need to use these bells that are usually outside cities or near save points to call your horse. In the Nintendo Switch version of the game, actually, you can simply press a button and we have a new item, a bell called the Horse Ailer, that can just summons our horse wherever we are in the world.
Oh wow, look at that.
For some more easy travel. Actually, as we gallop, we can also trample enemies, small enemies.
That poor guy.
Of course, bigger enemies would trigger a fight, or higher level enemies. You can actually see in the distance as I'm traveling that the heat waves are kind of deforming the image, like the heat distortion thing, which I find really cool, and again fits, of course, the desert theme very well. Now, I'm approaching a campsite, and that's what I want to show. In this campsite, you can, of course, rest, make a camp. You can do many things, though, in each camp. Of course, you see your characters, your party members over there. They're actually not always sitting in the same way. Every time you go to a camp, they might be sitting in a different way. It's pretty cool. You can buy items, you can save your game, and you can use your fun-sized forge for your item crafting needs.
A fun-sized forge.
Yes, I mean, you can see it is fun-sized. But again, also exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version of the game, there is another item there, the fun-sized forge. So again, also for this, you can craft items wherever you are now. You don't need to be at a camp to use the forge.
I see.
Which, for example, maybe you're in a dungeon, you see you're not strong enough, you want to craft a sword quickly to become a bit more powerful and try on the action. But yeah, as I said, then you can also talk to to the party members that talk to you about the storyline and what's happening right now.
Excellent. So, Filippo, this is your particular party, your crew at the moment.
Yes.
So, Mr. Okamoto, with Filippo's party he has right now, could you tell us a little bit more about each of these current party members?
では岡本さん、現在のパーティーメンバーについて少しご紹介いただけますか。
はい、青色の髪の色をした青年がカミュというキャラクターで、 この神はですけれど、とあるちょっと罪を背負っておりまして、その罪を償うために、勇者と一緒に旅をすれば、その贖罪が果たせるのではないかというところで、一緒に旅をしているという状態です。
So the blue-haired one here is called Eric. He has committed a serious crime in the past, and by traveling with the luminary, he hopes to atone his sins.
Okay.
はい、あとですね、赤い服と緑の服の、女性キャラクターがそれぞれベロニカとセーニャというキャラクターです。2人はですね姉妹なんですけれど、小さい方がベロニカが妹のように見えるんですが、ちょっとした、シークレットがあるので、ゲームをプレイしてですね、その謎というかを解いてもらえればなと思います。
And the two girls here, the one in the red dress is called Veronica, and the one in green is called Serena. These two are sisters who are helping the luminary. And the smaller one, Veronica, looks like the younger sister, but there's actually a bit of a secret behind this. So I hope you can find this out by playing the game.
Holding on to those secrets,
Yes.
Mr. Okamoto, I see. Okay.
And I particularly like Veronica's personality because she's not going to ease out, like she's gonna make jokes, she's gonna tease the character.
Okay.
She's quite a funny character.
Okay.
すごいいっぱい喋ってくれてるんで、このまま続きで陽気な服のシルビアというキャラクターについてもフィリッポさんの方から説明してもらいましょうかね。
And Filippo, I know that you know a lot about these party members already, and I would really like to know your thoughts about this fun-looking character here called Silvando.
Yeah, so Silvando is one of my favorite characters. He has like a very particular accent when he speaks. He's a super fun character to see in cutscenes, and he's a very useful character as well in your party when you fight. He's an artist, a multi-talented artist. He actually comes from that circus that we saw in Gallopolis, and let's say he's just as good with swords as he is with words.
That was good. Good use of wordplay there. I like that, Filippo.
I'm trying.
You know more about the characters than I do.
I doubt that. Okay, let us rest until dawn, and on the sunrise we can move on to our next section. And actually, for this next section, I'm not going to use my horse. I'm going to actually travel via magic. I'm using Zoom, which is a teleport magic that allows you to visit locations that you have been to before. And what we're doing now is that keeping the theme of riding, like instead of riding the horse, we can ride monsters in this game.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to do it, for example, in dungeons to go over certain obstacles, or you are required to do it in certain story beats. But in the Nintendo Switch version of the game, there are new and exclusive rideable monsters, which are super cute. We actually have already shown this particular one at E3, but I just want to make sure that everybody looks at the awesomeness that is the Slime Knight.
Ah, right.
There we go. And as we are in another fight, I'm going to show you also a few more items, a few more changes to the Nintendo Switch version of the game. So first and foremost, we can increase the battle speed. The ultra fast speed is completely new for the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and if you fight a lot of battles, if you really want level up to the maximum possible level, you're gonna fight a lot. So the fast speed will help you. If you look at the bouncing of the slimes on the Slime Knight, you can immediately see if I change speed now, they're a little bit more active there.
They look super happy now.
Yes. Something else you can do, actually you can change your lineup as well. So I have 4 active party members in battle, but I have a total of 5 now. So we want to give Silvando his time in the spotlight, of course.
Right.
And we can move him here. And in real time, without losing any turn, there you go, your lineup changes. On top of that, you can also give orders to your character. So now everybody is set to follow orders, which means they just take my commands.
Right.
But you can individually change orders to a single character, or you can tell everyone, for example, in this case, to show no mercy. And show no mercy just means that they will just
Go
everything they can to destroy the enemies as fast as possible. And the AI actually is pretty good at finding the best move that suits your strategy and the orders that you give them. It's really quite nice. Now that I don't have to worry too much about the commands, for example, we can focus on listening to the orchestrated soundtrack. And again, the orchestrated soundtrack is completely new for this version of the game. It's only on Nintendo Switch. On top of that, you can also hear sometimes the character talking during battle. They make exclamation, they talk to the enemies, they talk to each other. Of course, the storyline is all voiced. Here in battles, we are hearing the English voices, but also exclusive to Nintendo Switch version of the game, for the first time anywhere, we have Japanese voices as well. So you can play the entire game with Japanese voiceover as well.
I'm sure many fans watching at home will be very excited to hear that.
Yes, but then this is what we came here for.
So, look at that.
There you go. That's a Slime Knight. And I love the fact that, of course, the slime is happy and smiling as usual. The Slime Knight, they're a bit less.
Oh
actually,
no!
they wanted to save their friends, actually. But I think we're gonna make short work of them anyway. Like the great sword attacks of Elf 11, our character. By the way, yeah, we called it Elf because it's in German 11. And the Luminary is also known as 11.
Very well thought out there, Felipe.
Yes.
I like that.
And we leveled up as well, so not too bad actually.
Yeah.
I'm not too mad at these Slime Knights. So anyway, like you see the Slime Knight holding on for dear life, and you're actually using the sword and the shield of the Slime Knight. So I'm trying to show you that, for example, here, just like with the horse, you can trample small enemies. With the Slime Knight, you can use the sword to defeat smaller enemies. Of course.
Careful to not get too close, because you'll go into obviously another battle.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you have to learn each different monster ride has a bit of a different movement speed, different abilities they have. So you have to sort of learn a bit how to use them.
Right.
So now for our next adventure, actually it's beautiful. We see just Puerto Valor over there, which is another city. We're not gonna go there just yet. We're gonna go somewhere else, but it is definitely a nice place, inspired by Spain. And what actually I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom to yet another area of the game. And as I said, as you travel through this world, there is really a sense of adventure. You see all of this location, it feels alive. I'm going now to one of my favorite locations. I'm Italian, so this is the location that is inspired by Italy.
I see, I see.
And it is called Gondolia. So I'm pretty sure that Italian viewers out there already know what the city looks like.
Where the inspiration comes from, I see.
But yeah, now that we get into the city, if you have ever been to Venice, you will recognize the city, the architecture, more like bricks. For example, the beautiful red houses there, all of those hooks, people dressed in like maritime clothes, like sailors. There is also like the tents over there, and there are like clothes hanging from clotheslines across, hanging across buildings. It's really, really beautiful. And actually, what I love, apart from, like I said, the appropriate clothing, here characters have use Italian words while they speak, for example. So, povero me here means poor me. And if I speak to this guy, actually, I think he will say something I say quite often, which is uffa. Which is what we say when we are a bit annoyed. Like,
you know what? I feel like I've heard you say that before.
You must probably have.
It's really interesting that there's different accents and stuff happening in different areas. Mr. Okamoto, can you tell us a bit more about these unique characteristics of the different areas?
岡本さん、他の地域のどのような特色があるかお話しいただけますか？
はい、この町はおっしゃっていた通りイタリアなまりなんですけれど、先ほど見ていただいたサマディは中東なまりですね。中東地域の特色を出していて、他に日本のイメージをで作ったホムラという里があるんですけれど、そちらの方は日本のイメージを出すためにセリフが五七五の俳句のリズムで喋ってたりします。
So as you see now in Gondolia, people speak with Italian words and Italian accents. And as you saw before in Gallopolis, people speak with a bit of a Middle Eastern accent.
Ah, right.
And we're not showing the village today, but in a Japanese-inspired village called Hoto, people speak in haiku style, so in 5/7/5 rhythms.
Oh, that's really cool.
30年前ね、このゲーム作った時は本当にコンピューターって冷たいっていうイメージがあったんですね。なるべくそれを感じさせないようにあったかい世界を作ろうと思ってグラフィックも喋るセリフもなるべく人間っぽいセリフを喋らせると工夫したんですよ。そういう思いがですね、この海外版の翻訳にも生かされているのがすごく嬉しいと思ってます。はい。
So over 30 years ago, when I started making my games, computers were seen as very cold machines, and I wanted to add warmth to these machines, so I would add these fun graphics and fun wordplay all over the game. And I'm very happy to see that even in the overseas localized versions, you can still see these fun wordplay all over the game.
It's definitely visible in this title, and I just want to say that the game looks absolutely stunning. It's so colorful, and it really feels like you're going on such a journey in this game. So thank you so much to both of you.
You smile like a slime, basically, when you play Dragon Quest, because everything's so colorful and so happy. Even the monsters that you defeat, they're usually funny. Like, speaking of puns, one of my favorite monsters in the Dragon Quest games is a wizard that is a cat. And so it's called Meowgician in English, which of course makes perfect sense.
Do we know what the Japanese name for that is, Mr. Okamoto?
猫のマジシャンみたいな。
猫窓かな。猫窓のこと言ってるのかな。
そうだな。
猫窓ですかね。
猫窓。
Nekomado, okay.
There's also a pun in the Japanese
Oh,
name
right, I
as well.
see. I'm sure fans who obviously understand Japanese will understand that pun.
Yeah, puns are hard to translate one to one, of course. So actually, we want to show something else here. You can of course play the whole game in this beautiful 3D rendered location with all of these colors, but for the first time in the West, taken from the Japanese 3DS version of the game, you can play the entire game in 2D mode.
Oh, wow.
And in the West, outside of Japan, the Nintendo Switch version of the game is the first and only version that has this possibility. And we want to show a bit of that now.
Oh, I'm very excited to see this. So you're gonna change?
Yes. Basically, you have to save your game and then you restart from a story chapter.
Oh, I see.
From a story chapter into the 2D world.
Okay. So, Mr. Hori, why did you decide to include both 2D and 3D modes in this particular installment?
堀井さん、本タイトルに 2D、3D 両方入れようと思った理由はなぜでしょうか？
そうですね。昔作った時は本当にコンピューターの性能がそれほど良くなかったんで 2D しか表せなかったんですね。でももう今や 3D が当たり前のことになってるんですけども、やっぱりその 2D が良かったっていう人もいるんで、その歴史を感じたためにですね、2D、3D 両方で遊べるモードを入れたんですね。
So when I first made Dragon Quest games, the graphics on the computers were not so good, so we only had 2D. And now, after all these years, it's taken for granted that these games are in 3D. But I do have comments from my fans that 2D is also good, or people like to feel the nostalgia in the games. So that is why we have included both 2D and 3D in this title.
I see. And speaking of nostalgia, as you just said, I'm feeling very nostalgic looking at this right now. This looks absolutely amazing.
It feels very nostalgic.
Yes. There you go. Classic sprites. I love the sprite work. It's still very colorful. You can still, you can recognize all of the characters in their sprite version. And actually, I'm going to zoom back to Gondolia so that we can maybe, make the comparison between what we just saw in 3D and the 2D version. So I love the map, of course. By the way, there are random encounters in the 2D version. In the 3D version, all the monsters are visible in the map. In the 2D version, again, to keep tradition, you have your random encounters.
Oh, I see.
And I love the characters being as big as the city in the overworld map, of course, which is quite typical. If you played games, Dragon Quest games, for example, on Super Nintendo, that's exactly the way they look.
So we've gone back into Gondolia.
Yeah, we're in Gondolia now.
And that it looks very much.
You have the canals, you have the houses, you have all of the people speaking Italian. It's really almost one-to-one.
It looks so cool. Mr. Okamoto, what was the biggest challenge in making the world of this game, both 3D and 2D. Besides obviously the time it would take to make both worlds, what would you say represented the biggest challenge for you?
岡本さん、この 2D、3D 両方でゲームを作るにあたってもちろん時間はすごくかかったと思うのですが、それ以外の課題はどのようなものがありましたか
2個あってですね、まずはマップのサイズ感の部分なんですけれど、3D と 2D でやっぱり同じ街だって印象を持ってもらわないといけないので、どこをシンプルにどこを分かりやすくするかみたいなところで簡略化するべきところとちゃんと描くところとっていう部分の区分けをするっていうところが難しかったですね。距離感とかも含めてなんですけど。
Well, one thing is the size of the cities and these maps. So for the sizes, it's completely different in 2D and 3D.
I see.
So we had to make some changes to where to simplify or where to actually make into detail.
Okay.
And also make some adjustment to the distances the characters have to walk through.
I see.
2個目はやっぱりイベントシーンとかでキャラクターの感情だったりとか動きっていうのを 3D はやっぱりリッチに伝えられるんですけれど 2D はシンプルにしか伝えられないので、そういうところをテキストで補っていったりした結果2D と 3D のテキストが別物になってしまって二重管理をすることになってしまったというのが非常に大変でした。
And another thing is that for the event scenes, in 3D you can see the facial expressions and you can really see the emotions of the characters quite easily. But in 2D you only have very, very simple movements, as you can see. And we had to add some text to the 2D version to explain the exact same event. So in the end we had to manage two completely different texts for the exact same event scene. So that was quite hard to manage on our side.
I can imagine.
Even the characters here in Gondolia, they have additional text in the 2D version. Like this is the Uffa guy from before. We had a little bit more text than before. One thing I wanted to point out, I was riding gondolas before, and these are the 2D gondolas, which of course they keep the retro feel and the sprite feel. Anyway, both in 2D and in 3D, riding gondolas in Gondolia is much cheaper than doing so in Venice.
Well,
Guaranteed.
I'll take your word for it being Italian, Filippo.
Anyway, we are now going to another location, the last location we want to show in this presentation, and this is Tikinton. Tikinton is a very special place. It's the place where the Tokal reside. These are these white spirit kind of characters. I think we have one over there.
Oh yeah.
That's a Tokal. Exactly. You see them all over the world of Dragon Quest XI's, and they allow you to do something very special. If you go into this room, there are all of these books, and all of these books they take you to different Dragon Quest games. You can see a snippet of past Dragon Quest games.
That's interesting. Mr. Hori, in many Dragon Quest games, you've included the possibility to travel to different worlds of previous games. Could you tell us why is that and what gave you the inspiration to do so?
堀井さん、ドラゴンクエストのゲームの多くで過去作に旅ができるという機能が含まれていますが、このようにしているのはなぜでしょうか？
そうですね、歴代のドラゴンクエストをプレイした人にとってのなんかサービスみたいなもんで、こういうのを見せると懐かしいな、こういうことがあったなっていうのを思い出してもらうために入れました。またですね、ドラゴンクエストをプレイした人にしたことがない人にはですね、これ一本で過去のドラゴンクエストにちょっとでも触れた気持ちになってもらうと、両方の思いを込めて入れてますね。はい。
So one thing is that for people who have played the past games in the series of Dragon Quest before, they can see special bits and bobs of the past games, and that would make them happy and nostalgic. And another thing is that for people who have never played the Dragon Quest series before, by playing this one title, they can see some parts of the past series, so they can feel that they have some knowledge and history of the Dragon Quest series.
That's really cool. So it's combining old fans with some new fans to the series, and both can share both experiences from nostalgia and from the 2D and 3D, which I think is awesome.
Yes, I mean, I'm definitely an old fan, like old and a fan. And I remember the Nintendo DS Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies. And Pavo, for example, if people have played the game, was an important character there. The characters here in Yggdrasil, these angel kind of looking characters, were definitely some of the protagonists of the story. And it's just beautiful that you can go back to Yggdrasil and the observatory there and see the world of the past games. But actually, yeah, these are all the books that allow you to travel to the previous games, and this is Tickington, and as I said, the last place we wanted to show of the game.
Okay.
But actually, we have some more announcements to make.
Oh, I believe, Mr. Okamoto, you have some special announcements for all the viewers watching today.
そうですね、やっぱりこのゲーム自体やってみて面白いっていうところがやってみないと伝わらないかなっていう部分もやっぱり多いと思うので、今日ですねデモ版体験版がなんと eShop でダウンロードできるようになっておりますので、ぜひ楽しんでもらえればなと思います。
I think you're very excited to play the game now, and we would like to announce that there's a demo version now available on the eShop.
Ah,
Very good.
thank you. Thank you. I'm sure everybody watching at home is super excited to hear this.
Yeah, well, the demo that is available now, so please go download it after you finish watching this video. It allows you to play for quite a while, actually. If you're Toro, you can play, I think, even more than 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
If you really want to complete everything. And the cool thing with a game so big and a demo so big, Square Enix has included a save data transfer. So if you play the demo and save your data, then when you purchase and play the full game, you can pick up just from where you left off. Which is, I think, a pretty nice feature. You can, get a bit of a jump start, basically, on the world of Dragon Quest XI's.
Definitely. And of course, as we've come to the end of the gameplay, Mr. Hori and Mr. Okamoto, are there any final words you would like to give to the viewers at home?
もう一個ちょっと説
Oh.
We actually have another announcement.
Oh. Okay. Now, okay. We get ready for this.
今スーパースマッシュスマッシュブラザーズでね、ドラゴンクエスト11のキャラクターがダウンロードコンテンツで追加されましたよね、フィリッポさんね。
Filippo, I think you know that the Luminary is also in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yes, just been added very recently, and it's already being talked about a lot by fans of Super Smash Bros. Yes.
はい、そちらでですね、なんと先ほどお伝えした体験版をプレイしていると、スーパースマッシュブラザーズの方でこちらのヨッチ族のスピリッツが手に入るようになります。
So, if you play the demo version or the main game of Dragon Quest XI's, you can get a spirit of Toko in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay, so you can use the
wow.
spirit mode. Okay, that's really
Very
いつ
cool.
もらえるかは今後任天堂さんの方から発表があると思うので、もうちょっとお待ちください。
In terms of the release date, it's not been decided, not been announced yet, so I hope you look forward to it.
So the addition of spirits in Super Smash Bros. Has not been announced yet, but what we know is that we have a release date for Dragon Quest XI's.
Yes.
Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Sorry. There is also something else that you can say. On the 27th of September, when the game launches, there will also be a Champions Pack as a free DLC that will unlock clothing and items for your characters that you can just get day one as soon as the game releases as well.
So there's lots of exciting stuff happening for Dragon Quest fans, and
Yes.
anybody who's new to the series, there's lots of stuff to be checking out very soon. Mr. Okamoto, Mr. Hori, are there any final remarks you'd like to leave for the viewers who are watching at home about this new title?
最後に何かメッセージはございますか？
はい、改めてですね、今回のドラゴンクエスト11は 2D も 3D も、入っている、両方楽しめる作品になっていますし、音楽もボイスも切り替えられて自分の好きな形で遊べるタイトルになっていますので、どうぞ好きな形でプレイしていただければなと、楽しんでいただければなと思います。
Dragon Quest XI's includes both 2D and 3D, as you saw today, and you can also switch between two different kinds of music, as well as the voiceovers in English and Japanese. So I think this one title you can play as you like. So I really hope you enjoy playing this game.
Awesome.
今作はですね、このドラゴンクエストの長い歴史を本当にこの1分に詰め込んだようなゲームになっているので、これまでドラゴンクエストをプレイした人はもちろん、これが初めてっていう人もとても楽しめる作品になっているので、ぜひプレイしてほしいですね。今日はどうもありがとうございました。
I have put the whole history of the Dragon Quest series in this one title, so I think the people who have played the series before, as well as people who are completely new to the game, can enjoy the rich content of this game. So I really hope you enjoy playing this game, and thank you very much for inviting us today.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Okamoto, and thank you very much, Mr. Hori, for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much, Filippo, for talking us through some awesome gameplay.
It was an honor.
Thank you so much. And Mina, thank you so much for your interpretation
Of
today
course.
as well. So for everybody watching at home, this was Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you are excited about this game releasing very soon. But from all of us here, thank you very much. We'll all see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.